Let's continue with development of our base sub-project for multi-modular project of Ultra.io. In the previous episode, we added some parts of our base mod, and in this video, we will finish it. The first thing that I want to add is this fuel because that's very easy. And all we have to do is just cut the code and paste it here. And finally, instead of mod items, it's base items. One thing that you may notice is that instead of logging messages directly, now I'm using some method calls all over the place. For example, in events, in fuel, in mod items, or anywhere else, because between the episodes, I have added tons of these helper methods that will add the log message. Honestly, I'm not sure if these messages will use the translation or not. If we can use translation, then please comment below this video and I will add translation to this library so that people can add their own translation. However, I think for the logging inside devlog, that's more than enough. Let's move toward the events because the fuel is already done. It's finished. The event is just one event in the base mod because, well, let's face it, most of the events happen for armor or tools. The only event that I have and is related to the base functionality is for mob drops when you kill Enderman. Basically, Enderman should drop some of the ingredients, and that is our loot table modifiers. So I will cut it, and here under event, I will paste it here, and now it's there. Just make sure that everything is correct here first. For example, well, we don't have mod items. Just select it is base items now. That should solve most of the problems right there. And we don't have any problems in this file. The only warning is that it's not being used. We will fix it right now. So this is called register. And I want to be consistent. So let's call it init. Why not? Because if we come back and take a look at here, I'm using init for the log file and everything else. So I will say loot table modifiers.init. This will initialize the loot table modifiers for items that we have against killing Enderman. And that's our event. The only thing that is left is our Datagen for everything, especially for our ore generation. Now let's start with simple stuff like base tag providers. And I think we didn't add anything. Well, we don't have recipes. Let's delete that. And now we can delete every folder that we are sure that we will not use. We will have a project for effects, enchantments, and potions. And we will have something for particles and I don't know, paintings. We don't have block entities, so we don't have custom recipes. We will have a mixin for the elevator, so I will keep that folder. I'm not sure if we will use network there or not, but we are not having any custom items here. Not a fluid actually. For the fluid, let's keep it there, although I don't have it. No entities at all, no block entities, so no screens, no sounds, and no words. And these are for compatibilities. For compatibility, honestly, right now we don't have anything to do with any mod that is like JEI because we don't want to show any recipes. We don't want to hide anything. Jade is another story. Jade. Do I want to show anything on Jade? Maybe. I will just keep Jade. Maybe I want to show something about or end stuff. We'll see about it later. Now we want to create these. So create class under Datagen. And I will copy, create. And I forgot one thing. I want them under Datagen base. It doesn't matter. It will refactor and it will see everything. Other than that, we have the Datagen for the ore generation and it will start from here. So I will say I need to cut this section and I will paste it here. And instead of all of this, now let's take a look at the logger in action. Main base.logger.log. I think I missed this one. Okay, or I didn't. Let me see. Did I really miss this one? Yeah, I really missed that one. Okay, no worries. I will add it between the episodes, but now I can use this and say that and log green. And that's that. So, and instead of mod configures, this is base configured features and base placed features. Again, we don't have these, so I will just create it under datagen.world this time. Okay, finally, we are ready to move forward. Now, which one should I start? This one is the generator from the loading time of the mod inside the game. It's not a Datagen. And this one has only one thing, and that is base or generation. This one is actually sitting on the registries word, although I will add it directly on the registries. So let's do more actions, create class, and I will add it directly on the registry. Of course, I will have a constructor that throws new assertion error. This class should not be instantiated. After that, we have the init that we need to create. And inside here, main base.logger.log log or generation in it. Okay, we will come back to all of these one after another, but this is actually done. Now we can focus on everything one after another. The block tag provider under Datagen. So we copy paste from the base, import implementations, that's the configuration, create constructor matching super, and inside configure, we want to say main base dot logger dot log. And if you don't know what you are doing, just follow this tag, for example, and you see that we have block tag Datagen. That's it. So here we need to make sure that everything that is covered by this base is covered everywhere like this. Basically, I'm just copy pasting from the other mod here. However, there are things that we may not add here. For example, well, let's move forward and just do the copy paste. And when it comes to things that are not being added, we will talk about how to handle them. So or, we have the or, then we have a tag in reference for hammer blacklist. And in hammer blacklist, we are just adding two things. You notice that I'm not adding anything to this emerald thing, and it's vanilla, so there is no reason to have it there. We will remove that one. I will take the hammer blacklist, only the section that I have, and it is main base dot reference. Then moving forward, we will see that, for example, we have this tag that we are not defining anything for it. I will add it here, the incorrect for underwrite tool. Why do I add it? Because this will cause an empty JSON file being generated. Normally, modpack developers will look at these JSON files and figure out what to add and what they can add, because they are not mod developers. And this way, I make sure that it will help them identify the possible tags that they can use. Let's add these, and all of these are main base, so fix that. And the last part is the machines, main base dot reference machine. Let's do Control R, Control C, and actually instead of this I will change this one to blocks and replace all. This should solve every error. So basically now we have our block tag. Only make sure that the constructor is public, come back, the first order is okay, and we can close that one. Now let's move to item tag, because this is a busy one. And again, it's a provider, so copy paste from your code, import method, import the constructor. And for the constructor, actually on the item tag provider, I think we are selecting the second one. Yeah, that only has the output and compatible features. And finally, we go for main base dot logger dot log tag, and this is item tag generator, just like that. Okay, we don't have tools, but here is the thing. I have the tags for that, and I will generate that tag here. And this is a prime example of having something without adding anything in it, both for the hammers and the excavator. Okay, then we see that we have armors. Under armor, we have no tags of ourselves right now. We have some ore, and again, we are not providing any gold or emerald, so I'm not gonna add them, and that's it. Ingredients, we have casts, raws, wood casts, gear, gem, dust, ingot, alloy, plate, reinforced plates, rod, and tool heads. Cut them and get ready for a big paste. Here is a big paste. Take note, I'm making sure that I'm keeping the reference not being correctly assigned, because I'm gonna fix it with one of those search and replaces. Well, then we have mending only, and that's again one of those tags that we will not add anything to it, so that's that. Same goes for smeltery. Actually, for the smeltery, yeah, we have some things that we can add. So let's get everything, come back down, paste, and then remove those things that are not actually there, and make sure that we are correctly selecting things. So mod items, gem citrine, these will become fixed. Ingot alloys, okay, I will come back to this later, but it should be okay. And fluid buckets, then the repair tags. Now here's the thing, although the repair tags are for armors and tools, but I thought about this one a lot actually, to move these tags into their own sub module system or keep it here, because this reference is using Ultra IO as the mod ID, and I'm adding tags all inside here. I thought to myself that it's a good thing to have all of these here. Okay, so we will keep it that way. Then we have some tags that we are not adding anything to it right now, the armor types, but I'm going to generate them. Okay, lots of item tags from vanilla that we don't have anything to do with them right now, and that's basically our item tags. Now let's fix things. We are selecting the reference, Control R, Control C, and this will become main base dot reference, replace all. Then the mod blocks will become base blocks, replace all, and mod items will become base base items, replace all, and that should fix every error. So that's how you can easily move things around between two mods. Okay, now we can move forward to the next one, and that is our entity tags. Copy the extension, import the method, import the constructor, and finally here we say main base.logger.log tag, and that is entity tag Datagen. Then we can just cut everything actually and paste here, and just add the main base at the start of these references, because these are related to entities and we are just adding black lists and white lists for vanilla entities right now. Then we are done with this class as we go forward. Okay, let's move forward. The next one, loot table provider. Import the methods. That's the generate one and construct. And here we say main base dot logger, not log g, but log loot table Datagen. Now here we have add drops for some blocks. We have add drops for some ores, and this is my custom method call from the registers library. As you see, it asks for a not null provider, that is the provider here, is the provider, so we use this. Then we ask for the registry lookups, wrapper lookup, and that is this.registries. Then we ask for the block that should drop something, and the item that should be dropped, the minimum number and the maximum number. Basically, a nice little utility that we can use to handle most of our ore drops. I will remove that one, and I will add it after this. Then we have carrots and potatoes, elevator, angel block. Remember, angel block has no loot table. Okay, that's our loot table. Finally, Control R, these are base blocks, replace all, and these are base items. So replace all, and we should have no errors. This is our loot table. Now, what is wrong here? It says make it public because the constructor was protected or private. Okay, model provider. Let's add the extension, import the class, create the methods, and the constructor. Now this one is main base.logger.log block model Datagen. And if I just copy this one, this is item model Datagen. Now, for the blocks, here's the thing. Do I want to make the texture pools here? I think I should. So I will take them, I will move them here, but this is public, not private anymore. And we will use them. So these are capital now. Citrine texture pool, ruby texture pool, sapphire texture pool, and enderite texture pool. Okay, let's start with the texture pools. We just cut them and we paste them, and of course the names are changed now, and this is the generator. Now I'm not going to add anything or fix any of the errors right now because I want to come back to the end of the whole thing. Now we don't have any special blocks, but we have the raw blocks, so we will cut them. And I'm not going to use the multiple method calls that I had before because honestly I don't think we have to deal with these things a lot. So ore blocks, just cut them, paste them, then we don't have anything else inside blocks. And you see why I said I'm not going to use that method call approach. Here we have the food, then we have the fuel, we have our mob drops to add, we have our casts, we have our dusts, the gears, the gem items, the ingots, plates and reinforced plates, raw items, the rods, our tool heads, and finally maybe some things from our special like binding string, raw rubber, and the cores, thermal core, void plates, item filter, and yes, other stuff, all of that. Okay, let's move to fixing problems. First of all, let's see what did I have with Control R, mod items. Okay, fix that one. Then fix this one with base blocks, replace all, and no errors related here, but I'm sure that I'm doing something wrong here. Yes, this is need signal. Now here's the thing. I remember that I added some tags and I'm not covering them, like gems for ruby gem, citrine gem, things like that. I'll fix it in a few minutes. Let's finish what we have right now. This became big. However, you can just wrap things around like so, and you can surround it if you want or anything else. But here I have this that says surround with region and region. And basically you don't need to choose a menu. You just type it. Comment region something. For example, we say cast. And then at the end you comment with end region. Now you can close them. And the same deal for the rest of the stuff. So these are dust and so on and so forth. I will not do it in front of the monitor, and I will do it between the episodes. So that is our model provider. Then the recipe provider. Okay, as you know, the recipe provider has changed a lot recent versions of Minecraft, and it has two methods now. Previously I suggested that get name should be empty. However, I now suggest that you use something like this. Return main main base.modid plus something. And that's something, as you see, the suggestion is recipe provider. That's not correct. We go with recipe and with an underline in front. This makes sure that the names of our recipes are unique and not related to Minecraft at all. And finally, we can add the constructor. Now, in my mods, I use the registries here. Honestly, it's not registries, that's wrapper lookup. However, I will follow my own example and I continue my wrong name because I'm a bit lazy of changing the whole code. And honestly, I think it's just making sense. So what am I missing here? I think, oh yeah, a semicolon, and that's it. Now, here we say main base.logger.log recipe datagen. God, I love these helper methods. Okay, so we have the gem blocks, and I want to make sure that I will review everything here because I noticed that I'm doing something derpy when I was looking in my own files before the video. Well, this is just compacting, so that's okay. Then we have a ladder, and that's okay. That's a smoking recipe. We have tools that I don't have in this one. Yep. Then we have hammers. No, actually, here's one thing. We have a shaped recipe for the name tag. Now, here's the thing. It's using rod iron. And if I don't produce any recipe for these rod and, I don't know, enforced plates and reinforced plates and other parts, it doesn't make sense to have this thing. And that's a problem that I will talk about in the next video. So let's continue. Now for stairs, that was where I dirt. Take a look. And I will not copy it in here because this is related to the decoration mod, but this is exactly what I derped. And unfortunately, no one had ever mentioned it inside comments. Shame on you and shame on me, both. I'm offering a stone cutting recipe and I'm using mod blocks citrin. That's correct. For some of these, as you see, I derp. I'm using a stone cutting recipe. I'm producing 18 slabs, and instead of a block, I'm using a single sapphire item. Why did none of you mention this derpiness? I wonder. So when it comes to the decoration, I will copy paste everything and I will make sure that each one of these mod items under the stone recipes, stone cutting recipes, will be mod blocks, not mod items. Just keep that in mind. Here are some things that we need. This is food. This is the hot coal. Let's take them, paste them here. We don't have the blueprint here, so I can ignore that one. The ender charm, void plate, item filter, slots. You come with us into here. Blasting. Okay, yes, they come with us. Although these are just, I'm debating actually how to use the blasting compared to oven. I'm a little bit confused myself. Where should I use each one of them? Because let's face it, I remove every possible crafting recipe from the blasting. So you can't blast iron ore to iron. And instead, I really want to do something else. However, I wonder how to use it and what would be the usage of the oven. So if you have any suggestions, please help me in comments. I really need this suggestion right now because, oh no, what I'm doing, because I really need help here. Okay, and these should be only comments. Yes. For example, okay, here's an example. I have these recipes and let's put a comment here so that we are separating them. These are the things that I was planning to put on oven. For example, right now I'm using a blasting to get raw alloy enderite and export ingot alloy enderite, or get basically the vibrant or any other dust of alloys and export the alloy. I was planning to put these on oven and get done with oven. Honestly, a machine for just 6 recipes, that's overkill, you know? And I can't think about anything else related to oven. The only idea I got from another mod, and actually that was a kitchen mod that was adding some fun parts that would mimic the real life kitchen, was that it was cooking 9 items at the same time. And it was just the cooking recipe. So because I'm removing things like iron or other ingots from the cooking recipes, and the cooking recipes will be only food, so I don't know. Oven can just do that, and pulverizer will create the dusts, and the alloy mixer will mix the dusts, give you the final dust for the alloy, and you put them on blasting chamber and you get the alloy out of it. That makes sense because honestly, I'm making the blasting chamber on the vanilla really not usable, so I'm adding more functionalities to that. But the oven, on the other hand, if you have any ideas, please help me there. So far, I think I did move everything from here because these are stairs, slabs, pressure plates, and I'm checking this one. Trapdoors, walls, buttons, tools, armors, and then the goo, and this is again empty. So here we have this blueprint, but I didn't move the blueprint in, so let's remove that. Now this one was the blasting of, nope. Okay, no food box and only some machines that need some recipes, and the rest is just comments. So that's our recipes. Let's fix problems. Control R, these are the blocks. Control R, these are base items. Do we have any problem left? Very few, and that is exactly this one. This is need signal and need signal. However, the thing is that we are not finished with the recipes. As I said, we are not producing any way of handling different ingredients in base, and that's the topic of the next video. So for time being, we did fix the models, we did fix the recipes. Now we go for English language provider and the word gen. Let's start with the language because I want to fix the easier ones first. Okay, this is the extension of Fabric language provider, implement methods, and create constructor. I use the top one, then I deliberately add the en_us. Now, if I remove this part, I think this method call, yeah, it is actually adding the en_us itself, but I prefer to add it myself for two reasons. First, I see what I'm doing, and second, if Fabric by any means drop that constructor, or I don't know, Minecraft drop the constructor for whatever reason, I'm safe here. So let's start the logging first. Main base.logger.log en language datagen. Okay, we call this translation builder. Okay, as you notice, we had this add text, and basically these are for the titles. So we need that add text being added here, and I think that's the only time I'm using add text. So I will, pass it directly here and without keeping it in the original file. Now let's fix things. The reference will become main base.reference, replace all. That's fixing that one. Mod blocks will become base blocks, replace all. And this one is base block items. Now in my previous attempt behind the scene, I had an error here because it would say that we have duplicate translation. Let's see if that was fixed, or if we have the problem, then we don't show this base blocks or whatever. We will find how to solve that one, and then these are our base items. And we should have no errors, maybe one, because we have the need signal, and this is need signal. Cartridge. Yeah, I think I spelled it correctly. So that's that, and we should protected. Okay, but I have a lazier way of just moving my mouse saying make it public. Okay, now the last piece of the Datagen, the word generation. Okay, the word generator itself under Datagen extends Fabric dynamic registry provider. So import methods, configure, and get name. The get name here, I'm returning the mod ID. So main base.mod ID. I'm not sure if I should add anything to it or not. And then let's create the constructor. And finally, on the configure, take note what we are doing. We were calling registries, get or throw registry keys, configured features, and place features. And that would be it. I think I have something here. So main base.log feature Datagen bootstrap. That's not it. Datagen. Let's see what we have. Word generator Datagen. That's it. So that's our word generator. There is nothing else in it. Okay, but we have these bootstraps to be added. Now we go into project because inside project we have lots of things to add for word generation. And let's fix things and close some tabs. This is finished. The base configure, place features, and word generation. Okay, let's start with this word generation. It's not from Datagen. As you see, it's just the init file. And this one actually needs, place features. So let's start with these two. The configured feature and place feature. These are here. Now base, I will move this one to the word to be consistent with my notes. Actually, this should be here. And let's start with one of these. Which one is easier and more understandable? Let's start with configure from top to bottom. Okay, now we just have bunch of keys that I want to add. I will move these to the next lines to be consistent in lines. Then we have this constructor that throws new assertion error, and this is wrong message. This class should not be instantiated. And then we have the bootstrap method. So let's copy step by step. Then we have main base.logger.log bootstrap, but this is the this is the configured features. So features, and if I move it on top and take a look, it says configured features. So let's copy everything over. And as you see, I have this init method. I have to fix some names, and the init method will instantiate those keys for me. Let's fix that mod blocks to base blocks, replace all, and there is no more errors inside the base config. This one is solved. Now place features. Again, we have some keys. We will take them, paste them. We have a constructor. After that, we have the bootstrap. I will cut it completely, paste it, and instead of this logger, we have the main base.logger.log bootstrap or place Datagen. We don't have the init yet. These are just some things that we need to fix. We have the init. Let's take it. It's public now. Finally, the register is an import. We need to have two imports here. Actually, this one was imported beforehand. So we have the register from our registers library Datagen. Basically, if you'll take a look at this register call, it's just a context, the place key, and everything else. It's just, handling everything internally. So now instead of mod configured features, we have base configured features, and everything should work without a hiccup. Finally, that is the two methods and the bootstraps, and this one is the OR generation. Now we can come back to this OR generation and finish our OR after the log. The reason we had that place feature init public is that here we need it. So we say base placed features.init. After that, we just cut everything and paste everything, and we will fix the typos or name changes. Okay, now I will select this, Control C. I will select this Control R and Control V and replace all. And basically, I just replace the mod place features with base place features, and everything should work. Now, we had fixed everything. We have no more problems whatsoever in our mod. And right now, we are face to face with a functional mod that has no resources. Don't forget, each time you create a mod, you need to fix the resources. For example, under assets, I have this Minecraft folder, textures and block. All I did was changing the stone cutter texture because this was pure white with some grays. I didn't like it. I made it look more like a diamond cutter. Other than that, we have the UIO stuff, or now it's called Ultra IO. Let's start with the textures and add the folder called block. Under block, I should be really careful what I'm choosing because I just need to make sure that I'm cutting what I need and I'm pasting it here. And if you notice, this project is called UIO copy because that's a copy. It's not the main project. So block, citrine, and door. Now, no, door is not here. And the right, raw stuff, ruby, sapphire. Let's cut them, paste them, continuing forward. The GUI is not there. This is the builder, carrot box, then the cast press, no chunks, no elevator. Now this liquid is a template, as you see, that is provided by different mod developers, and it's used for creating any custom liquid. Although I don't have any liquids right now, but I will add it here because in future, if I want to add any liquids, that would be definitely inside base, minor, or cut it, paste it. All of the or are here. Then potato box, cut it, paste it. That's our logs. The entity is just armor. So GUI container, we don't have any containers right now. Item, so textures, directory called item. And here again, we don't need armor, but we start with binding a string. Then block citrine door, no. Ruby door, no. Blueprint, no. We have the cast, the egg, the dust, and again bread, then the mod drops, gears, gems, heads, hot coal, ingots, item filter, and then molten in the right bucket. That's a fluid that I'm planning to add. I will copy it. Plates, rows, reinforced plates, rods, rubber. Cut everything and paste. That was a huge paste. As you see, it's still continuing. Okay, after that, we have the slots, tools. Let's add these, but remember, instead of slot disabled, actually, was it slot enabled or disabled? One of these two. Let's double check it. We have slot disabled. So the slot enable is called now need underline signal. I would say that case, let's take a look at the picture. Okay, need signal. Yeah, okay, just to make sure. And the slot disable, if you want to take a look, that's red. That's okay. So this one is need signal.png.mc meta, and I need to make sure that, yep, okay. Now, then we have void plates, unstable goo, core base, and that should be all of our items. Okay, after items, we have mob effects that is not related to this mod. Then we have data. Now, for the data, here's the thing. I'm manually assigning some things to the smithing table. So I will have to make a data directory side by side the resources, side by side the assets, I would say. Under there, I have to create a directory called ultra.io underline base. And then here we will have the recipe directory. Previously, it was recipes. Recently, they changed it to a singular name. And if you want to see, it's all about the smithing using the inget enderite to change the netherite into enderite. However, now we have to be careful because here we are manually assigning our namespace. So we should say ultra io underline base. Otherwise, we will have problems. Okay, so I have to open each one of them and change these UIOs very fast. Now, here's the thing. In future, I may add these to Datagen, just, creating some smithing table recipes. That would be much easier. Okay, then we don't have anything here. However, under the Minecraft namespace, we have other things to handle. So directory Minecraft, and here we have loot table. Again, it was loot tables, but it is changed. And here we have, actually, I think this one is loot tables. Let's take a look. Minecraft merge the data. Minecraft. No, it's loot table and then blocks. So loot table, then we have blocks, and here we have a block table for the quartz from Nether. And again, if you take note, somewhere I will have the UIO. Be careful on this one. Yeah, here we go. Because we are dropping raw quartz instead of quartz, and basically we already overwritten one functionality from Minecraft. Now here's the other thing. If I move forward and show you the things that I had in the Minecraft data section on recipe, you will see that there are tons and tons and tons of recipes that I changed from vanilla. I have to talk about this in the next video. So far, we had migrated almost everything from the base mod into our new modular mod. See you in the next video.
If you like these videos, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and turn on that bell so that when I publish a new video, you will get informed. Have fun, everyone. Bye.